You are listening to the Healthy Leader Podcast with Tracy Fisher, episode number 9.
Welcome to the Healthy Leader Podcast, where it's all about optimizing your health, energy, and performance for your mind and your body. And now, your host, Master Coach Tracy Fisher.
Hello, everybody. I hope that you are creating an amazing day so far. And I want you to know, I say create a great day or hope that you're creating a great day on purpose. You don't say have a great day. That's about getting something from somewhere outside of yourself. So I hope that you are creating a great day. And I will tell you that great in my mind stands for generating results using your emotions, actions, and thoughts. So that's what great stands for in my mind. So before I jump into this really great topic, I want to warn you that today is the first time that I'm allowing my puppies in my studio while I am recording. So that's what I am creating, is that they're going to be quiet throughout this entire recording. So if you hear something in the background, that is what it is. So this topic, dreaming, I think is one of the most important and fundamental concepts that makes life exciting and fun and fulfilling and enjoyable, as in the deepest sense of joy. And it's one of those things that as we quote unquote grow up, we forget how to do. We forget how to dream. And dreaming really is just thinking. It's thinking on purpose. It's using our imagination and thinking about what we want, what could be. What would be totally amazing and awesome and exciting and outside the realm of what you currently think is possible? Can you dream about that and what that might look like for you? And if you think about it, every single thing that is cool in this world, think about our ability to fly, to travel crazy long distances in a seriously short amount of time, to be able to communicate instantly with somebody who's on the other side of the globe, or to cure people when they used to not be able to be cured with medicine. And think about people who do amazing feats. All of it starts with a thought, with a dream. And so dreaming is one of the most beautiful things that we can do with our brains. It's an amazing gift that we have been given. And as responsible adults, we can sometimes lose that gift. We stop dreaming. We stop imagining what could be for us in our lives, and we settle, right? We settle for the status quo, or we say, listen, this is the way that things are right now, and this is the way that it's got to be, and it's okay. And one of the things I hear people say is, this is what's going on for me right now, and what I would really like, and they start to say what their dream is, and they say, no. I'm okay. This is a first world problem that I'm talking about here. I can handle it. I don't need to dream any bigger, right? I've seen so many people hide their truest desires from themselves. And when someone is talking to me, I'm always listening underneath their words for what they truly want. And of course, I never make an assumption. So I always ask, okay, so what do you want? Let's be clear. What is it that you really want? And then people will pause and they'll say, well, I don't know. Or they'll start talking again and not really answer the question. They'll dance around it. And so I always ask again, and maybe I ask in a slightly different way. All right, so if we could put all of that aside just for a moment, what is it that you really want? If you could put down all of the reasons that you cannot have your dream, what would your dream be like? In a perfect world, what would you dream for? And the bottom line is that question can feel a little scary. And so today, I am going to dare you to answer it. We're going to talk about how to get at and know what it is that you really want. And we'll talk about why it's important to know that, even if you decide not to go after it, and how you can use your dream to live a fulfilling life, even before that dream is realized. So let's start with how to know what you want. And one of the things that we do in the Healthy Leader Inner Circle and in coaching is to plan the upcoming year and to dare to dream about what it is that you want to create over the next 12 months. And as I said, this can feel a little daunting or scary. And that's why it's called daring to live your dream life. When you dare to do something, that implies that there is something at risk and that you are aware of that risk. And Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is a very famous psychiatrist who wrote many books and outlined the stages of grief. And one of the things that she said that I have always remembered is that there really are only two emotions, love and then fear. And the idea is that all positive emotions really stem from love, and that all negative emotions come from fear. So from love, we have happiness and peace and joy and contentment. And then from fear, we get hate and anxiety or guilt or anger. So if you are daring to do something, you are experiencing some form of fear. And then you are also consciously choosing to take action anyway. And when you make that choice in your brain, what you are doing is you are generating the energy of courage. And so daring to dream takes courage. And I use something called the 3D methodology to take people through this transformational process. And those 3Ds stand for discovering what it is that you want to create, designing a plan around that, and then number 3 is daring to go for it. And that final phase, that daring piece, occurs over and over and over again. And it includes action, for sure. We know that we have to take action in order to create something new. And it also simultaneously recognizes that in the midst of the action, we're probably going to experience some fear. And as we experience that fear, we also get to create courage. And this is on purpose because we want people to know that it's not just about doing things. And in our society, in our culture, there's a huge emphasis of just getting it done, right? Just do it is what Nike says. And most of us probably know what we should do. And that's not normally the problem or the challenge. The challenge is generally around not wanting to, or feeling anxious or overwhelmed or rushed or afraid. So daring to stop those emotions, or I should say daring to feel those emotions and to continue dreaming anyway, is what we are talking about. It's about embracing the fear, knowing that fear comes with the territory of dreaming, and then still doing the do anyway. And many people hide their truest desires, their real dreams from themselves because of that fear. They'll say, you know what? I don't know what I want. And they mean it. They really don't know what they want. And so it takes courage to even mentally contemplate what might be. It takes walking through and talking through why we can't have it in order to get to what it is that we really want. And many times when I ask, what do you want? The person will keep restating the story of what currently is, or why they can't have it, or what the circumstances are. And that's part of the process. It's like wading through that and thinking about it and sorting through, and then always coming back to answering the question, to daring to answer what you want. And so I want to ask you, what do you want? From a place of total abundance and possibility, when you look at your life and you think about the amazing things that you have already, about what you have created, and dare to ask yourself, all right, what else could I have? What else could I create in my career, in my business, in my friendships, in my home, in my marriage, in my parenting, in myself, in my own health, in my own energy? In a perfect world, what would you want? What would be amazing? So I want you to honestly think about that. Give some time and some energy to answering that question. And it does not have to be a huge project. It could just be a couple minutes of thought and allowing yourself to dream. Now, as you start to answer this question, I want to give you an awareness of 3 warning lights of what your brain might do instead of really answering the question. And the first one has to do with what I call la la land. And this is where your brain will be like, okay, fine. You know what I really want? And then you'll get a little silly or sarcastic about reality. And this sounds like what I really want and what I've always wanted is to be an NBA basketball star. And in reality, you're 50 years old and you're 5'5", right? Or I really want to be a rock star, but I cannot hold a tune. Or what I would really like, and this sounds a little bit more serious, but it's still in la la land, is, you know what, Tracy, I want to go back to my 20s and choose a different career path. So if you hear yourself saying things like that truly are not within the realm of possibility, like going back in time or, gaining 5 inches in height or changing your age, right? Then that is a tactic that your brain might use to not answer the question. The second yellow light is that the focus or the answer to the question will be about what you want the world to do, how you want the world or the external environment to change. You may say, what I really want is for my spouse to learn how to clean up after themselves, or for my children to actually obey their curfew, or start studying, or stop taking drugs, or I'd like for my relatives to behave in a certain way, or my colleagues, or for the corporation to realize that we need more people and that we're all burnt out here. So the focus there, notice, is on the external environment instead of on you, the internal environment. And that's what we're focusing in on, what you really can change. And I'm not saying that we don't attempt to change the external environment or make requests or set boundaries. That's not what I'm saying at all. But when you're answering this question about your dreams, it's not about the external environment. It's about you and what you are going to create. And then the third warning light is that you're not going to answer the question, right? Your brain's going to brush it off. You'll just take in the information here and not actually take the time to answer the question. Your brain may brush it off as silly, or you don't have time for it, or you'll get to it later, and that you've got other responsibilities that are more pressing than dreaming. So don't fall into those traps. It is just your brain's way of keeping you safe, of avoiding feeling uncomfortable, of avoiding feeling disappointed. It's avoiding really feeling that fear, the anxiety over the work that would need to happen for you to accomplish your dream, or the trepidation around the energy that it would take for you to really make this dream come true. And you're like, hey, listen, I'm already depleted about all the things that I have to do. And it might be a way for you to avoid feeling disappointed again, right? You're thinking, I got enough negative emotions already. I don't need to dream and not have that dream get fulfilled. And that's what happens unconsciously if you're not aware of those warning lights, if you're not aware of the way that your brain works and that it is natural to want to avoid discomfort. And that's basically what I'm asking you to do here when I ask you to dare to dream. So that's the first step. It is discovering what it is that you really want. And so definitely think about that and take some time to journal or to take a walk and just let yourself dream and watch what your brain will do. And here's the thing. I want you to know that just because you dream about something does not mean that you have to go for it. You do not have to follow through, but at least get in touch with what it is that you do want. This is an exercise in self-awareness. It's an exercise in practicing being courageous enough to think on a deeper level about you and your values and what makes your heart sing. And that is important to know. And then the second piece of this is knowing that your dream is going to be scary and that it's supposed to be. And embracing the fear, because by its very nature, you are thinking about something that does not exist yet. And so there are built-in question marks bouncing around, and there are unknowns, and there are risks. And here's an interesting fact. There is very little physiological difference between fear and all of its manifestations and excitement. So think about that. When fear comes up, when you start to think about what it is that you would love to create and you feel those different extensions of fear, it also feels the same as excitement. And here's an example I want to give you. We just celebrated Halloween this past weekend. And so I want you to put yourself in your brain in a scary situation. So imagine that you are walking into your house and it is very late and all the lights are out. It's a stormy night. And as soon as you flick on the lights go off and the power goes out. And in the flash of the next lightning bolt out of the corner of your eye, you see the glint of a knife and a masked man steps out of the shadows. Now, immediately, you know that this is not fun, right? And what happens right then is that your body gets thrown into a stress response. There's an increase in your rate of breathing, your pupils get dilated, it makes your palms sweaty, and you are ready to fight or to flee. And now, imagine that you are in a similar situation, but you are just in a haunted house. And when someone jumps out at you, when you see the glint or the glare of the knife, your body has a similar response. There is a very little physiological difference between fear and excitement. And you paid for it when you go to a haunted house. You're looking for it. And interestingly, studies have shown that if you learn to anticipate fearful situations, like being in a haunted house, then you actually are activating a part of your brain that is the reward center of your limbic system. So knowing that you're about to be scared is actually somewhat enjoyable, which is why we go to haunted houses or why we watch scary movies. And so I want you to remember that when you start dreaming and you start experiencing fear, that's normal. I want you to expect it, just like you expect to be scared when you enter into a haunted house. And in fact, not only can you expect it, you can enjoy it. You can be like, oh, here it is. This is the feeling that comes with beginning to dare to dream, to beginning to live your dream. And then you keep dreaming anyway. Breathe into the fear. Embrace it. Do not avoid it. And here is where it gets really exciting. I'm going to ask you to sit with it, to be in it. This place right here where you feel the fear is an integral part of overcoming that primitive part of your brain that wants to keep you safe and wants to keep you in the status quo. It's part of the deal. Let it be scary. Let it be there and embrace it. Let your dreams scare you a little bit. And also feel the excitement of it. You've got self-awareness now. You've got the fear and you've got excitement. You know what you're going to create and you haven't even done anything yet. That to me is really interesting. As you dare to dream and think about what can be, you are creating the energy that is going to sustain you to fulfill that dream. And that energy is what it means to live a fulfilling life. Staying in touch with your dreams and daring to feel the fear are the fundamentals. Those are the foundation for daring to live your dream life before you even hit go. And so then that is the final choice. The first action that you get to take is another internal action. You get to decide. You get to decide whether or not you're going to pursue the dream. You get to decide when you're going to pursue it. And you do this from a place of excitement and empowerment versus not doing it at all, versus just hiding, versus denial, versus not exploring what could be. This is the place where you get to consciously decide what is right for you, given what is going on in your life right now. And if you decide not to pursue your dream right now, then that is okay. At least you have had the courage to dare and look at it. And if you decide not to pursue your dream, then I definitely encourage you to ask the question, all right, if not this dream, then what dream? What else could I do to level up and to enjoy life more right now? How can I make this day, this next conversation, this next interaction, or this project the best that it can be? And then dare to show up right now as the best version of yourself, because that's part of the dream too. And here's what happens when you dare to awaken your spirit and your imagination and dream. Even if you aren't going to pursue it immediately, you've already dared to think differently. You've dared to show up in your own mind differently. You're opening up the door to thinking about everything in life differently. And if you're willing to think on this Mac Daddy level of dreaming to live your most amazing life, then for sure you are opening up the possibilities to how to live better today and how to have a dream day, given what is. And when you do that, you are opening up your brain and your heart to possibility. And your brain is going to keep thinking and marinating behind the scenes, wondering how else you can level up. How else can you dream? How can you make your company better, your relationships better, your life better? And at the very least, you will have begun practicing dreaming again and daring to step outside of the proverbial box and just one way of thinking. And that in and of itself is exciting. And it's a meta skill that can be applied to everything in your life, to all of your dreams, to your current life. And it can also most certainly be applied to your leadership and the way that you approach your company and the people around you, your community, and the people who depend on you. This is a practice of opening to possibilities. And that is an exciting and fun way to live no matter what is going on in your life. It feels fulfilling. You are filling yourself full even before you have attained the dream. And that is the value in daring to dream. It's not about the result. It's not about the gold at the end of the rainbow, right? It's about journeying through that rainbow, not in a muted and pale color sort of way, but with vibrant colors and lights and energy. So I dare you. I dare you to dream, to dream about what your life could be. I dare you to embrace the fear and to embrace the excitement. And I would love to hear what your dreams are. Dare to dream, dare to create an amazing life, and right now, dare to create an amazing day. Hey there, if you are ready to take your well-beingness to the next level, come visit thewellness.coach, where I've got lots of free resources. And make sure that you type in thewellness.coach, not .com, and I will see you there.